Yo. Yo, yo. Yo, yo, hello. Hi, hi, hi. Okay, I'm going to roll out an early one today. Normally wait a little bit longer, but a couple of reasons. I'm not into football too much, but I want to watch. I used to be into football a lot, but not at all now. No, don't cheering for long anymore. However, when it comes to England international, sometimes I do. And there's a friendly, I think, or qualify for the Euros on, so I will watch that today. A bit of the old football, which is on 7:45, so I'll just roll early with this one, so I've got time to myself. I don't have to worry about Facebook later. Cool. Okay. So, again, hi Lisa, mate. You're gonna like this one, guys. In fact, you may not even need this knowledge at all. In fact, you may even know what I'm about to tell you. But even if you do, it's nice to be reminded too, right? Because we know things work, urine therapy, fasting, all this shit, but it's nice to be reminded and to hear my perspective on it. And it's no coincidence to me that I figured out from knowing something and then relearning in circles how to do a great poo on this one. How to do a great number two. We have such high-class, highbrow humour and highbrow conversations in the health community. How to do a great poo. It's kind of true though. Poo bowel movements are really important, right? So, this is not a coincidence. This story I'm going to tell you now on how I figured out, how divine powers have led me. It sounds egotistical, but how I've been led to this information, which you guys might already know. And I'll tell you why I believe this. This time last year, I was in Florida, meeting up with my health crew family, not paying a penny to stay in accommodation, and I was just going around with people, friends I made on Facebook, but most of them which are my friends now, really good friends with. And at that time, in Florida, in Tampa, I was with a guy called Jake Cawill. You guys may or may not know him anyway. And at the time, I remember doing sun gazing a lot. I was doing a bare-chested sun, so sun on my bare chest, because I was just getting into nudism, actually. I was just getting into nudism this time last year, just before I left for America. So early February last year is when I first got into nudism, and I was experiencing the power of it. However, at that time, I didn't understand the mechanics of why nudism worked fully, right? So I was getting into it, and I did it big time, just having my chest all the time. In fact, a lot of last year I spent, even in my little home here in town, I just spent a lot of time walking around bare-chested in the summer when it was hot, you know, and even when it wasn't too hot, I was just being that guy. And then I kind of went off it. I went off nudism the last couple of months, if I'm being honest, from October, November, December, January, February, until the last few days, I went off nudism. And the reason why I went off nudism is because, as I understood last year the benefit of sunlight exposure, not just to your face, but to your chest, your genitals and your legs and everything. I got the benefits from it, so that encouraged me to keep with the practice for a lot of last year. I didn't understand, this is my problem, I didn't understand the mechanics of why sunlight on more than just your face is so powerful, of nudism. Now I'm back on it, and it's not a coincidence. I'm understanding, not just, I'm experiencing crazy shit, and I'll get to the bowel movements in a second, I want to talk about, but also I understand now, because I'm reading books on it and connecting the dots from what I'm researching a lot by myself for my book on sunlight and nudism. Now I understand the mechanics of it. Now I think I'm at this point where I can explain to people in a really simple way why, I won't do it in this video, I'll put it in my book though, although maybe I will, why nudism works, and it's not just light on your face that's important, it's the whole body. And now I understand mechanics, and I'm experiencing benefits. Now I feel like I'm going to stick with nudism. I mean in my room by myself, and I mean, by the way, when I'm outside in my garden, I still got trunks on, but they're not just special, they're special trunks called Kaniki shorts, which you guys might remember, some of you, I promote a lot, which is special trunks that you can get for girls as well, to put over your breasts and your genitals, for guys just your genitals, you know, to expose. They let the light in, basically. Kaniki shorts are specially made, so they're kind of see-through, but you can't see through them. Other people can't see your privates, but there are little holes in them, so if you look through it, you can actually see the sun penetrates. So you get 80%, up to 80% light in. So basically, I'm in my garden these days, in the last 2 days, and I hope, even though it's cold as well, it's a challenge. I'm doing 2 things at once, cold therapy and nudism. Cool. Much better than the tropics, when they're just doing kind of nudism and sunlight in the skin, but where's the cold therapy, bro, in the tropics? Huh? Where's the cold therapy for the people in the tropics that are hardcore into health, getting lots of sun? You see? Got to use nature to your advantage. There's advantages to living in the UK, isn't it? It's not all just about nudism, running away to the tropics and being in the sun 24/7. No, let's try and do some Wim Hof training whilst we're in this crappy environment that we're not supposed to live in, right? Yeah. So anyway, I understand the mechanics, and I put in my book of why nudism is powerful. But in relation to doing a shit, this is what happened last year. Last year, I noticed, when I was in Florida and sun gazing and having my chest and my grounded, but having my chest and my back exposed, not completely, I just had my trousers on and stuff, just my chest and my back, but a lot more skin to the sun, high-powered sun. What I noticed was my bowel movements were not just high frequency, which is kind of important, but also they were like perfect poos, and this is without even eating an optimal diet. That's the key information I want to get here. So I was not eating fruits at the time, 100% fruits, nowhere near. I remember, still don't now. But without eating the fruits of the high hydration water, I was doing, and I noticed the shits were so fucking huge and massive, and the frequency was great. I mean, I don't want to sound crude, I'm sure you guys are not offended, but they were fucking huge. I even took pictures of them. I took pictures of these people, like, whoa, fucking crazy. I was like, okay, and I remember that, and I'm thinking, and I've always wondered since that point, because I never managed to achieve such epic shits since that time, and I wondered why, because I knew it was good. These shits looked really healthy and good, and like the frequency and the size and shit, and I was like, whoa, what's going on here? So, since that point, today, day 2 of nudism, a lot in the garden and in my room, completely naked, for a long time, not just like 20 minutes, about a good couple of hours in my room and then 1 hour outside, pretty much. Again today, doing the usual protocols, grounding inside my room right now, grounding outside, which I'm not denying they do help with bowel movements. I know for a fact grounding does help with the digestive system and the bowels. I know this. I know a lot of things do. Water does too. I'm doing all those things, but they're not the main reason. They're just things that you do to help bowel movements. The main thing that I know for a fucking fact now, and I've still got to try and figure out that why we get constipation. People get constipation and don't do enough bowel movements. Yes, it's diet. Yes, it's cooked food. But hear me now. The main thing is sunlight not being exposed. But wait, not just sunlight not being exposed. It's not sunlight not being exposed to a particular area. That is, I believe, your tummy, your belly. That's what I believe. I might have to change this information in the future, but I'm going to carry on observing. But I think I'm right on that. When you expose an area of the body, like your digestive system, your abs, your abdominals, your tummy, to the sun, remember the sunlight has varying lengths. The UVB, UVA won't penetrate very deep, just the skin and the dermis. Now, visible light goes a little deeper, and red light at the top end of the visible spectrum goes a little bit deeper, hypodermis maybe, and then the infrared, near red, and far infrared, which are invisible frequencies of light, penetrate way deep into the human body, way deep. So, this is what I reckon. I reckon the sun, when exposed to any part of the body, penetrates very deep. So when the sun gets into when you allow your belly to be seen by the sunlight for a long period of time, like 20 minutes to an hour every day or more, it's penetrating into the colon, right? This is what I think. And when the sunlight penetrates into the colon, the large colon and the small colon, when the sunlight penetrates and you don't wear clothes into that area, all of a sudden your bowels get like a rejuvenation effect. You're getting near infrared, middle infrared, and far infrared, which are the frequencies of light that can penetrate deep enough to hit the colon, by the way. Others can't. Visible light, maybe the red visible light possibly can, the others definitely can't. So it's that light and that frequency of light that has the depth penetration to hit the organs. I don't think, if you want to be geeky about this, even though red infrared light affects the mitochondria, and that's a huge benefit of red light and infrared machines, by the way, the mitochondria function goes up. I don't think in this reason, that's the reason why my bowels and your bowels and our bowels get really efficient, although that does help. Everything helps, don't get me wrong. It's not the main reason, I believe, and I might be wrong, why the bowel movements go up. I believe, and also from what I'm thinking as well, if you want to, for example, optimize your liver function in a most profound way, there are many ways to do it. Enemas, loads. If you want to optimize your pancreas, if you want to optimize your small intestines, you want to optimize your large intestines, if you want to optimize your lungs, the way to do it, I think, in the most powerful way is to expose that that layer of skin on top of the lungs. So that'd be the upper chest. If it's the bowels at the bottom, you want to expose the tummy. It's easier just to take the top off and do the whole thing, right? That area, once it penetrates, the light goes in deep, and I believe hits the surface of the, at least surface, if not the whole entire organ, which is crazy. The light medicine is powerful. You have to understand this. This is why I'm fucking writing a book on sunlight. This is something that I'm going to go deep with. I want to preach on. I'm actually absolutely obsessed with. Light is nutrition. Light is medicine. And it helps you do good shits. Because today I did a fucking good shit. And I think it was just the light. And I will report back my observations as I do more Nudism, because I'm going to be doing a lot of it. And seeing if my bowel movements, if this was just a one-off, and if it was wrong, I won't talk about it and I'll just apologise. But I don't think I am wrong. I think I am correct. That light can hit your organs, and that's why nudism works. Your organs are all housed in the chest and the back, right? The back and the kidneys. The chest has got the lungs and the liver and the pancreas and all that stuff. So it's hugely important to get your chest and back exposed to sun at least 20 minutes to half an hour to an hour every single day. Hugely important. And that's not to say that you shouldn't expose your arms and your legs as well. And I'll tell you why. Your arms are connected to your arms have the meridians for all the yin yang meridians. All the important meridians are connected in the arms. More than that as well, the arms are connected to the chakra number 4, and I believe in the chakras. So the arms is connected to the heart chakra. So when you touch somebody, that's why people talk about heart connections and connection. That's why sex probably works as well. One factor to do with sex and massaging and all, and getting turned on. It's love, it's touch, it's heart activation, it's compassion. So the arms, when we expose that to sunlight, we're healing the heart chakra. And the legs, when we expose that to sunlight, we're healing number 1. Probably the most important chakra. You know, number 1, the root chakra. And I say this for a couple of reasons. I've been thinking about that too. Think about the spectrums of light. There is UVC, UVB, UVA, then visible light, and then there's, after invisible light, there's near infrared, middle infrared, and far infrared. So red has got a lot of light going on there, apart from the colour spectrum. Is that a coincidence? Or is that nature trying to tell us something? I don't know. There's a lot of red going on, and red is the colour of the root chakra. So, okay, with that being said, that is it. Informational. Experiment with this, please. You should be doing nudism at periodic times anyway. I'm sure some of you are more advanced in this than me, and if you want to optimize your bowel functions, I believe this is it. If you have constipation, then this is it. I think this will get constipated primarily. It's not just hydration, it's not just eating the wrong foods, it's sunlight, no direct sunlight over the tummy and the belly, because that's where the house is, the colon and the waist, and it will get things moving, the medicine. I would love to understand in the future the exact mechanics of, and hopefully the science will be up there at some point, on why the sunlight optimizes the colon function. What specific thing is it doing? I would love to know, because I don't think it's mitochondria and infrared light. It might be, I think it is infrared light, near far infrared, but I don't know. I don't get mitochondria cell thing and Krebs cycle. I think it's something else, but I could be wrong. So, cool. Hope you watched this video, AJ. Alright, man. And whoever watched as well with me, and yeah, take it easy and stay experimenting. Alright.